Hello, my name is Jared and this is Does This Work, a comedy podcast, and my guest today, correct me if I'm wrong, took nearly a 30-year hiatus from comedy before returning triumphantly. Left to run her family's pub in York, came back to Perth at the age of 75, rapidly became one of the best comedians out, frequently taking first place in the Gong Show. This year's 2025 WA Comedy Next Gen winner, Nola Bliss, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, thank you, Jared. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
You caught me just before I died.
Okay. No, technically we're all
we're all on the path. Yeah, I'm just walking faster.
That was all correct, the intro?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not going to nitpick. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. But yeah, thank you for joining me. How is the hotel?
The hotel is on the market. Anybody who wants to come and relieve me of my burden. Comedy is becoming such a time-consuming and enjoyable occupation that, and my husband's 81. He's now counting the days until he goes over the Rainbow Bridge or something. I don't know. And he doesn't want to die in the hotel.
Yeah. Makes for some ghosts, right?
Well, it puts the pressure on. Business hopefully is picking up. York's amazingly busy. The hotel is a good opportunity for somebody, not somebody who's 77 as I am, but somebody who's in their 40s.
Yeah.
So if we can get that moved, then I can, who knows?
Well, it's been the location of a few filming projects. Before we get into that, though, I've got to ask the first question. Nola Bliss, why comedy?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that. Because I've been doing my homework. Why comedy? Well, it wasn't my intention. Okay, so I don't know how long you're going to give me on this, but been doing my prep. I was born in 1948, so and my parents were not very well off. My mum worked in a fruit and veg shop to pay the money to send me to a Catholic school because my dad refused to make the payments because he's not a Catholic. So we weren't that well off, and I never thought that I would go to university, and consequently I didn't. I left school at 14. I was engaged at 16. I was unengaged at 16 and a half. I was pregnant at 18 and a half, married at 19, divorced at 21, married at 21 and a half, and so it goes on. 4 husbands, 2 of them the same. So I did what a lot of women who were of my generation did. You grew up with the ambition to get married, which I was enormously successful at.
Yeah. Quite an early achiever as well.
And I never, I just did what my husband did. I followed. I was an obedient, mostly, wife, and I had 3 children, and I actually was never on my own until I was 50. Never on my own, always with a man or my family. So when I was 50, I came back to Australia from the UK, where I'd been for 25 years, and I was on my own. So I started to go to a TAFE course to keep me out of trouble, and it was writing comedy, which I loved. And then I signed up again for the same course, and it actually turned out to be exactly the same course. So the lady suggested I should pop up the road and do the comedy course as opposed to creative writing. And there I met a couple of lads, and we decided that for the passing out parade, I just wanted to write like sitcoms. They wanted to all do stand-up. So we decided when we finished the term, we would all go into a open mic, which was the only one was the Laugh Resort. Yeah. And we would do a stand-up at the end of the show. They had paid people, and then at the end they'd let a couple of individuals on to try themselves out. So I turned up to do that, and the boys weren't there. So I was on my own. So my 50th birthday present to myself was to do a couple of minutes open mic. And the guy at the club assumed from my accent, which was much more English at the time, that I had been doing comedy in England. And he said, would you like to come and do, a paid spot? And that's what started me. Then my husband came over from the UK after about a year and a half, spoilt my plans. we bought a property in York, and I was up in York for another 22 years, doing what a wifely thing does. And then when we sold one of the properties, I decided popped into town to watch my daughter do comedy. I think you met her, Esther Bliss, and she was just starting. And I went to see her, and I walked into the room, and the lights went on, and I went, "Oh my God, give me the microphone." And that's it, really. And I've been, for the last 14, 16 months, just been having a ball.
That's great.
Getting back into what I love. And
so the hiatus, I guess you can call it, like the time in between when you started and when you started recently, was it in the back of your head still, or was it completely out of your mind?
No, it was out of my mind. It was out of my mind. But you see, I on stage, I am who I am. I don't. There's not two personas to Nola. Yeah. No, I've always enjoyed making people laugh, and people who came and stayed at Faversham House, which was my B&B, and I'd go down and do breakfast, and the chef would be sitting up in the kitchen going, "God, what's she doing down there? Let's just get on with breakfast." And I'd just be walking around making people laugh and making sure they were enjoying themselves, and that they went away feeling happier than when they'd arrived. And so that's what I love doing. And now I'm fine. I've got a home. And if my husband had come out to Australia with me, I would never have gone into comedy. So I didn't choose it. It chose me.
Yeah. I mean, do you have memories of early on being a kid and making people laugh and having that spark?
No, I was a goody two-shoes at school. But I think I've got a quick brain, and I've got we all flog this ADHD thing. But it is, I don't believe it's a condition. I just believe it's a different way of thinking. Yeah. We've made it into this big deal, but, there's left brain, right brain. Some people are project driven. They start at A and go B, C, D, and they end up at Z. I start at A, I jump to H, I'll go to T, and then I'll finish on Y because I'm sick of it. Yeah. And that's just a different way of thinking.
Yeah. And how did you find that in the comedy scene change from when you started and dipped your toes in originally to when you returned?
Oh, wow. Well, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge now. And it's just mad. Everybody wants to be a stand-up, and I put that down to social media. It wasn't around when I was around. I mean, there was a few comedy shows on black and white TV, driven by dinosaur energy, that sort of thing. But now it's massive. But the thing that is still the same is there are not many women doing it. I try to bang on about that a bit, but I just... They're sort of, I don't know why. Men do say women are not funny, but we fucking well are.
Yeah, I was working on a bit. I haven't even tried it at all, never said it out loud. But I was working on a bit where I'm like, people say that women aren't funny. I 100% disagree. I was like, I've met some very funny women, but I've also met some women who say they're funny and then do a funny voice. You know what I mean? So but the point is that I've met.
But there's that many men who do that as well.
Yeah, that's right. But I've met a lot of when I teach acting, and there was a couple of girls in the class that were like, I've always wanted to try stand up, and I say to them do it because there needs to be more women in it, and different points of view in general. There's different men that have different points of view.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So it's good to have.
I mean, if you don't think women are funny, you should sit with me with my coven. Just women on their own. I think women with their husbands don't speak up. We know that. We know that from being in that situation. I heard a comic the other day say, my girlfriend's got ADHD. She's always interrupting me. And I thought, maybe you should just shut up and let her speak. Yeah, maybe that's why she has to interrupt you, because you don't shut up. I'm not having a go at you because I like you, but I have to speak out that men do overpower women. We've all seen the memes where women sit in a meeting and there's 8 blokes and a woman, and she'll say, "Oh, why don't we, go ABC and then with a red dot?" And she's unheard. And then a bloke will say, "Why don't we go ABC with a red dot?" And they go, "Brilliant idea, Jared, brilliant idea."
So then how have you felt received within the male comics?
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
The best thing. They are, some of them are assholes, but not very many. But mostly, if you can hold your own, I'm not there because I'm a woman, I'm there because I'm funny.
Yes.
I've just started to believe that. I stopped apologising for being a woman. and if you pull your weight, you're kind and you're nice, you'll be welcomed. Same as a bloke, they treat me just like a bloke, just like a person. I mean, I'm always apologising. That's what I do because I'm a woman. And I say, oh, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for allowing me. And thank you, And one bloke said to me the other day, Nola, will you just shut up? You've earned it. Yeah. You've earned your place. And I thought, oh, thank you, God. And so but they've been so friendly, so supportive. The Perth community, I think, I don't have any experience with others, but I would say this is unusual in how good we are to each other, how supportive we are with our messages, with our just being there. And that's my experience anyway. I love every one of them.
I guess for you to be, like any of us, male or female, to be accepted in the comedy community, like you said, you have to hold your own. And part of being accepted is getting roasted by them, roasting them back, and it's all in good. Like, I've never seen anyone say anything in bad taste in a green room where, not yet anyway, really, but where it was like a personal thing. It's always like, it's always something that's like, it's a respect.
Yes.
And that's how I see people retreat yourself when you won Next Gen.
Despite having no voice.
Despite losing her voice, Nola came out and killed.
I had a packet of throaties down there, man.
Like, was not speaking at all backstage, in whispers, came out and you would not know that she lost her voice, and then killed it, went back out. It was good.
Thanks, guys.
But even at during the break at halftime, we were all like, well, congrats in advance, Nola.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's embarrassing when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that happens at Gong. I won Gong last week, and Ronnie Neville was on, and he was on the first half, and I was on the second half, and I saw Ronnie, and I went, "Is that goodbye, Nola? There's a $350 performance right there," and as it turned out, I won, but it was. I would have given it to Ronnie. I thought he was really good. So yeah, I don't mind. Maybe that works in my favour sometimes. Maybe I go out there on the stage, and the girls in the audience are delighted. To see
they see them taking snaps of you, selfies and things after that.
And it's great. I do a little bit about a little bit of sexual content. You might have noticed, probably a little more than a little bit, but some of it is actually aimed towards getting girls to speak up for themselves and not to take what is dished out as, and not to try and turn themselves into these dragon, with the lips and the boobs and that kills me. That kills me when I see girls out in Leaderville, with their tits and asses hanging out, and they're freezing cold, and they're, they look like streetwalkers from Naples. And I think, you don't have to do that to yourself, woman. If that is going to attract the sort of man that you definitely don't want, that is not going to attract what you want. That's not going to attract good husband material. That's going to attract a predator.
Yeah. Well, what gets me is when I see clips popping up online where there's like street interviews, which I hate street interviews.
Yes.
And it's always like, the guys are always saying, what's your favorite position? And the girls, but when there's girls interviewing, they're like, they go up to guys and say, like, what would you rate me out of 1 to 10? And I'm like, do you really want to walk around being rated?
Stick your chin out. Stick your chin out, why don't you? Well, you're not going to hear what you want to hear. I'll tell you that for nothing. People who put themselves up on these little Instagram things, and they might be a little bit overweight, or they're a little bit old, and they go, how old do you think I am? Or do you think I should wear this dress? I mean, fuck no, girl. Get yourself off there. Stop trotting yourself around, putting your face up for likes. Like yourself. Like yourself first, and then somebody else will like you.
Which brings me to my next question, which is that you've been described as someone with zero filter. Do you think that you had to develop that over time, or do you think it was a natural thing that you just...
Wow. Please explain what zero filter means. I think I know, but I'm not sure.
As in, you don't filter yourself, you don't censor yourself around... for the crowd, around anyone in your personal life, or do you think that it's I
don't know. Zero filter sounds a bit arrogant. I don't think I'm arrogant, but I do, and I don't tell the truth if I think it's going to be hurtful. Like if somebody says, "What do you think of this outfit?" I might go, "Oh, it's great," but have you got anything else, or blah blah blah. I'm just been bending to be what other people want me to be for so long. And people think I'm confident. I'm actually incredibly insecure.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Yeah,
I know. I
think
know that's
every
the thing.
comedian, I think, is the same.
When
like
people say to my husband, "Oh, Nola, she's so confident. She's my inspiration," and Richard says, "I tell them you're not." Thanks, buddy. But it's now I just think, look, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be me, and I like being me.
Yeah.
So in terms of zero filter, I pretty much don't care. Like if people think I'm crude or rude, or if people think, I mean, I just think if it's funny, I'll say it. I mean, now it's a bit wokey, and some of the things I've said to people, can I say this? I've gone, Christ, no, Nola, you can't say that. And I go, why not? And they go, because it's racist. And I said, no, but it's funny. It's not. I'm on the Ricky Gervais school of thought on that, really.
Yeah, if it's funny, it's funny.
If it's funny, it's funny. I mean, you're coming to see a comedian, not a politician or a philosopher or a psychiatrist or something. Comedians are supposed to make you laugh. They're supposed to say things that are funny. If they're not hurtful, it's the way you say it, whether it's, I mean, I did something a line the other day, and I said, I had sex with a Chinaman. It was really lovely, but, 2 minutes later, I wanted to have it again. Now, that's a riff on, Chinese food. Now, somebody said to me, Nola, you can't say Chinaman.
Yeah.
And I said, why can't you say Chinaman? And he said, it's Chinese man or Chinese person.
Yeah.
I said, that's the same thing, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, I'm Australian. If somebody calls me Australian or a Aussie, I say, that's not derogatory to me. So I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean, I don't know what I meant, but I thought it was
fine.
I thought it was
What's funny is my father-in-law does this, and it's the same thing, but he doesn't mean anything by it. But he has this habit of when he's describing someone,
yes,
and like let's say it's a Chinese person, he won't say a Chinese person, he'll say, I think he was a Chinese. So like, which hits the ears wrong. Like I think I met this guy at church and then I think he was a Chinese, and I was like, you might want to put person on the end of that.
Because I was out of the loop for a long time, in York with the hotel, where it was fairly isolated and it was like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. So, I mean, I think I missed out on a lot of this new stuff. I can go to England and talk to my son, who's 57, and I will say something and he goes, Mum, you can't say that. And I go, why can't I say it? And he'll say to me, it's rude or it's sexist or it's something. And I say, how come? I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I mean, you can say, oh, I love you, cunt, and that's acceptable. If you put another intonation on it, it's not. So I think it's the intention.
Yeah.
I mean, you can offend somebody without swearing or being vulgar.
Yeah.
But really upset them, and that's offensive.
Yeah.
I believe it's a question of whether, and if you find it offensive, that's on you. And then as I go back, that's Ricky Gervais.
It's a very subjective thing. Offense cannot be a blanket for the world.
Yeah.
One person cannot be offended and then the world must change now. People are calling out shows like Friends that ended 20 years ago. That's that came out in 1996 or something and ran for 10 years, and they're calling it out for being homophobic and transphobic and and racist because they didn't have many black characters in.
Yes,
and that it's people look for things to be offended for first of all, but then they also look for on other people's behalf. You mean you can't, like, white people, so you can't say that because it's derogatory against Chinese people. But like, what do you let's let some Chinese people, speak for themselves.
Well, you see that on a lot of shows that maybe disabled people or amputees or blind people or whatever, they're in the audience. They love being called out because that way they're seen. I mean, I was staying in a hotel in Melbourne the other week when I went over for that Boomer competition. Yeah. And I was in the shower where I get a lot of my inspiration. I'm not quite sure why.
Vulnerable.
I don't know. I'm standing there and all these thoughts come into my head. And they had those squeegee bottles, that you have the shampoo and the thing in. But they're quite high up. Now, I'm not a short person, but I had to put my arm up like that to do it. And I suddenly thought, what about the little people who stay in this hotel? No, they used to be called dwarfs.
Yeah.
Not allowed to say that. Small people, little people. They're little people, not
Midgets,
small.
I think, was what they used to be called.
Yeah, okay, well, let's kick that one with a gumboot, shall we? Anyway, so I'm thinking they're in this hotel. They can't reach that. They can't possibly reach that.
Yeah.
Is that littlest?
Well, yeah, it's true, and it brings up the good point about like plus size people, which I hate the word because like. You know, with people like...
Do you mean the fatty bum bums?
I mean the fatty bums. I'm on my way to becoming one, so check back in 6 months.
Ditto, yeah. That's why I'm trying to wear loose clothes.
You know, should they pay for an extra plane
I know, that's a big thing now, isn't it?
There's these people that will go and like call themselves like plus size. There's like they go to Disney World and they'll try out rides, and we're gonna fat test or plus size test this ride. Unfortunately, this one's not. We're not going to be able to ride this one. Yeah, Disney, do better. You need to make sure that rides are being that we're supported and seen and heard. And like we see you clearly.
Sorry, fuck 'em.
But like the fact that you expect the world to change around you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of this and that. I mean, some people are obese, they can't help it, they've got a medical condition. I would say if you were to put them in a concentration camp, they probably wouldn't be that big.
Did you know that I found out...
Sorry if I offended big people. I am one of you.
Yeah, we'll check back in 6 months.
Yeah.
Nola and I will be here.
I'm on your side, baby. Both sides. Right round you, actually.
We'll have to. Next time Nola's here, we'll pan this camera out, and we'll be both the size of these couches. But you know, this has nothing.
Right?
This has nothing. This has nothing to do with anything. But I found out that the first McDonald's, speaking of fat people, opened the same year the first prisoners arrived to Auschwitz.
I don't know what to say about that. But I know if you look back through the newspapers, like to the 1950s, 60s, even 70s, there weren't many big people around then. There just weren't. In America even, they weren't. They were all, you look at the pictures from the end of the Second World War and they're all dancing in the streets. There's not many fatty bum-bums in there.
And if they were in like, no offense, but like circus, like there were people that were like considered freak shows. They were like, and they're not that big by today's standards. No. But now big social media, YouTube, people are trying to get views and likes and monetize. So they'll film themselves eat. There's a guy, Nick Avocado, I don't know if you know him. He filmed himself for a good few years getting fat. This guy was skinny. Oh, he became huge.
That's very, very sad.
And then did this weight loss thing secretly where he filmed himself still fat, doing these. He's just eating buckets of noodles and things, but they were all pre-filmed. So while these are all uploading every week, he was off losing a ton of weight and he came back skinny as.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's one of those things where it's like we become not just fat people, but like just fame hungry
sideshows.
They're doing whatever gets clicks.
They're awful. I mean, it's the same thing where you see people have back to this plastic surgery, and they're grotesque. And I just think you sad person that you hate yourself so much. That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
And they eventually, I think like someone like Courtney Cox, who was in Friends, she admitted, she's like, I regret all the plastic surgery that I did. And then sometimes you see people who haven't had any, and they have aged perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think with this whole beauty industry, this whole self-absorption thing is not healthy, and I think we should all just stop doing stuff like this.
Well, that's it for us here today.
No, it's all about balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about balance, work-life balance, and how your whole thing, you've got to be kind to yourself, love yourself, know yourself. That's when you can be a good person and help other people, So then your material, your comedy material, does that come from like... What gives you the juiciest material? Is it parenting, relationships, work? My husband.
Husband, yeah.
Yeah. He's a constant source of laughter to me.
Punchlines.
Not to himself. He has no sense of humour. He just doesn't get it. I can't test any material out of him. Even this morning I said to him, you got that DNA thing. I said you can trace, what. If you have the right thing done, you can trace what
Ancestry?
And diseases. You can see what you might have, the gene for something or other. I said, like we've got ADHD and, got bipolar in our family. I said, and, I've just found out that diarrhea runs in our family. and he said, does it? I said, yes, darling. Do you not know that? And he said, no, I didn't know that. And then after, like 15 seconds, I said, it's a joke, darling. He said, is it? I don't get it. Diarrhea runs in our family. No, I don't get it. Oh! And I said, don't ever come to my show, darling, because I'll be halfway through the next gag and you'll just get the line.
Click,
It's not that funny. You don't even get that. God, what am I doing with you even?
That's great. Well, I think like some of the comics I speak to are like, no, I don't run anything past my significant other.
You can't.
I will sometimes, but like my wife, Dee, will often go, I just don't get it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it out and see if it works. And sometimes it works, sometimes they don't get it.
My son Saul, who lives in Bali, he's a very funny guy. I mean, all my kids are funny. But Saul, he'll laugh if he thinks it's funny, he'll laugh out loud. He gives me a few ideas. Yeah. I want to do a mother-son with him.
Yeah, cool.
I reckon it'll be great, but he's a bit shy.
Yeah.
He's a bit shy. I mean, I'd love to get him into it before I die, because afterwards it's not going to be any good. Won't be as funny.
He needs to learn from the best while he can. And then, so when you're writing, how do you? I have this theory that like a joke is never really done, right? You could always tweak it, and you could always keep like people like I've got books, Adam Bloom and Seinfeld.
Yes, Adam was great. Yeah,
he's great, but like Seinfeld, when his jokes are done, they're done, and they're meticulously worded, crafted, and every syllable is there for a reason.
He doesn't do it, does he? He doesn't write his own, does he?
Who, Seinfeld?
Yeah,
he writes his own.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, so he writes. He still writes to this day. With a yellow legal pad, all pencil, pencil, handwritten, and it's all. He cuts down syllables, and he's like this. It's meticulous.
I can't do it that way. Yeah. I mean, I just find what was funny is funny, and then I go back and you tweak the joke and you add little petals on it. I mean, it starts off as a seed, and then it grows into something, and as it first comes out in the flower, and you think that's brilliant, but there's always more petals. There's always more. You might get another little shoot coming off it or something. And I'm finding that now as I'm performing. Because you do perform. I didn't realize this. I thought you had to write a new skit every time you got up when I first started. Soon stop doing that. And but each time it comes out a little bit different. You wonder why. You think I'm doing this set, and that show was really, really good. Same set. No, I'm saying the same thing. Why don't I get the same results? But then your energy level is maybe not quite the same. Maybe your timing is off. Maybe you've got to really pump yourself up to go on. I find, and now that I'm more relaxed. I'm less in fear of failing. I get up and I'm quite loose. I don't mean in the diarrhea way. Don't hold back, Nola. Last night at Cap Off, it's a funny room. I don't know if you've done that.
Not yet. Bassendean?
Yeah.
I've been like the last couple of times I've been asked. I've been teaching acting, and I wouldn't be able to make it there in time.
Well, the stage is very high. I mean, that's my main problem. I always say, "I'll come, Xavier, but I need a step." Yeah. And the man on the stage has to be able to give me a hand on the stage. Yeah. And the first time it was Ross Evans.
Yeah, yeah.
And bless him, he's a darling man. And he said, "It's all right, Nola, I can help you up." And I said, "Ross, I'll probably pull you off." And that wasn't the right thing to say to Ross. So
I don't think you'd be that grateful.
No. He was such a help, but he's very strong. He's got real muscly arms, so it's fine. But before I MC there, they're going to have to put an elevator in or escalator or something for me.
One of those
I can't jump up and down that fast. These legs don't work anymore. But that's the only thing that holds me back, really. What were we talking about? Crafting a joke.
Yes, is a joke done? When it's done, is it done?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But I find it quite difficult to write.
Yeah.
I have to sort of wait for an inspiration, which is generally in the shower, and I don't take my pad and pen in there, but I have to remember it. And then
just write it on the wall with your hairs.
I've got a booklet full of things that I thought were funny when I was dreaming, and I woke up, and then in the morning I just think that's a load of crap. But there might be a gem in there. But with me, it's just light bulb moments rather than sitting down and working hard.
I think that on the flip side, I've been letting things just come to me, and then I quickly jot it down, and that's fine. But I feel like to be able to force the creative juices to go a bit, like if I force myself to sit down for an hour or 2 hours and write and then just mine for material, at least it gets the brain going.
That's right. That's what Anna said. And I think that's true. I mean, at the moment with the hotel, it's a 20-bed hotel that I'm running 7 days a week. I don't have a lot of time where I can actually, I might start to do something, and my dear blessed Richard will come in and plop himself down in the chair and then randomly start talking about death, or Gaza or something cheerful like that. And he's the gloomiest man. I tell you, if you ever want to bring yourself down off a high, he is the man to go see. You really feel grateful after you finish listening to him. And sorry, Richard. So to actually get time where I'm not being disturbed by the phone ringing, somebody ringing up wanting to book a room, or saying, why isn't there any toilet roll left in my room? And I go, because you've been eating, you dumb fuck. You've only been there a day.
Because you've had diarrhea.
Yeah, we're back to we keep returning to that path. So I'm looking forward to the time when I can actually just sit down and say, right, this is my work time for my comedy, and put a do not disturb on the door. And but now I've got this flat in West Perth that I can have to myself. Yeah, that is
just sitting there and write.
I just got to say to Richard, I'm going to be away 3 days this week, and he's when he rings me up, it's what he did the other night when I was 2 minutes before I was going on the stage. The phone rang, and I thought, oh God, it's got to be, there must be a problem. So I ring him up, and he says, the lady who's here wants to pay. What do I do? I said, take her money. And he said, no, she's got a card. I said, well, put it through the FPOS. How do I do that? 22 years we've had this business, Jared, and he does not know how to take a payment on an FPOS. What have I done wrong? I mean, I know I'm still breastfeeding him, but apart from that, why can't he take a fucking payment?
I don't know. Again, my father-in-law is similar. He lives next door.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, he'll wander over every once in a while to ask my wife to help him send an email, and like he still needs help with that sort of stuff.
Richard wants me to recharge his phone, Jared. I mean, this is, might as well cut his arms and legs off and just roll him up in a ball, throw him over the. I don't know. And
he's all right with all these jokes about him. I should ask, is anything off
limits? I don't know. I don't care.
Is anything off limits? He goes, you can talk about me, but don't say this. Never tell this story.
No. He's only come to see my comedy once.
Oh, wow.
Well, twice if you count 25 years ago. Yeah, he's not comfortable in the room, which is great. My revenge.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my wife will come once in a while. She'll come to the.
I heard her at Next Gen, man. She supports you. Yeah. She bought the whole yoga club with her. I tell you. They were screaming for her.
My wife doesn't do. She does once in a blue moon. No, she was great. She's great. What was I saying? She'll come to the pro spots, the competitions. And she's very supportive.
About anything off limits.
Yeah, but she's told me that people will ask her. No one ever asks me, but they'll ask her, like, you okay, Jared, saying that stuff about you? And she's like, he didn't say anything horrible about me, really. Like, it's all,
it's comedy,
and
man.
everything that he says is obviously a joke.
Yes.
I feel like, do you also have to, like, are you sick of having to stand by the fact that you have to go, it's a joke, like having to really reiterate to dumb people? That's right.
I mean, I was saying to some young man last night, he went up and he was telling a story about something. It was his third time up, I think. And he was telling this story, and it was obviously true. And he died. He died on his ass, and he came off. And I went up to him and I said, "Listen, honey, first thing you need to know is when you get up there and talk, it doesn't have to be true. Even if the grain of what you're talking about actually happened, the detail has got to be funny first, not true first."
Yeah, and it's all
You make it up.
Yeah, that's it. And it just starts with something funny. Like my son, I've got this bit about my son learning sex ed.
Yes.
Right? And that's all true.
Yes,
is that
that's
the
right.
teacher, he came home and he said that the teacher were doing like, he didn't call it sex ed, he called it
Dirty talk.
yeah, something. The teacher's making us do dirty talk at school. It was yeah, I can't remember.
It's on the curriculum now.
yeah. He said, I can't remember the term he used, but he said that the teachers are getting the kids to say slang terms for genitals.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And then so my wife went and was like talking to mums and stuff, and like, oh yeah, they're saying, the teachers saying, getting them to say dick and pussy and stuff. I'm like, what? Funny idea just off the bat.
You'd think that they'd check the parents first.
Yeah, it's a bit
maybe.
strange.
Somebody must have got upset about that, surely.
But then like that was just a funny thing. And then I was like, how? And then I was like, oh, you know, you just sit in the shower or you're driving. I'm like, I could tie that in with that. I'm a big callback fan.
Yes.
But then the other one, it's a funny story. I haven't made it funny, but it has the potential to be funny. Is that my son, after his birthday, he had the day off for his birthday on Friday, and then he had the weekend to celebrate as well. He's 3D printing all his toys. Monday comes around for school. He doesn't want to go to school, and he offers us $20 each to stay home from school. And I was
Take the money.
Done.
Yeah.
So he goes and gets his wallet and gives me $20 that he got heaped for his birthday.
Oh,
He's an
wow.
actor as well, so he's got money in the bank. You know what I mean?
whiz, yeah.
And then he goes to give it to my wife. My wife was like, no, you don't have to give me any money. She's like, I cannot believe you just took his money. I'm like, the boy has made a deal.
yeah, that's right. Teach him those lessons.
Yeah, because if I don't take his money, then he's just staying home.
Yeah.
But he asked to make a deal. He said, I'll give you $20 if you let me stay home from school.
I'm going to report you to
That was the deal.
Education Department.
So I'm like, that's a funny story to tell, but there's no punchline quite.
No.
So it would just be a matter of...
You can rap on that, I'm sure. You know,
So,
the art of the deal, you're bringing up Donald Trump here. It's not a good look. But it's like we're talking about words. You're talking about words for genitals. It's like the word cunt, which I sometimes use in my acts. I don't chuck it around, but there's one particular thing where if I didn't use it, the joke wouldn't work. You know, it's that, you know, when you're a man, you're born with a cock, you stay a man. When you're a woman, you're born with a cunt, you stay a cunt. Which actually always resonates with the audience, because the blokes goes, yeah, she does, and the women are going, that's funny. But I don't. That's the only time I use it in my whole 15 minutes, because it's relevant to that joke. I wouldn't use it just for the sake of using it. But before I started comedy, I would never say that word. But then I thought, look, it's 4 letters.
Yeah.
It's 4 letters. It's, you know, some people do find it offensive. I was told at some gigs not to say it. But to me, it's sort of lost its...
punch.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it. If you go to any schoolyard, you'll hear boys go, no, you can't.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
we're in
nice,
Australia.
but it's...
it's every other word, every other...
Yeah, Australians are terrible.
Like, especially some of the real Aussie comedians, it's like, it rolls off their tongue like it's not even a word.
Yes.
It's like just part of the... How you going? It's like, how you going? It's like one word.
That's right.
It's nothing anymore. So like, I've never gotten again, not to bring it back to like offense, but like I've never gotten the point of something being offensive to someone, and then therefore it's offensive to everyone.
I think in talking about that sort of language, I was watching a little gig of mine back on, and I know it was I was worried about it because there was a guy, a lot of hecklers in the crowd. It was in a country gig. And I went on and I must have said fuck 10 times in the first half minute. And I thought, why was I doing it? I thought it was because I was nervous. Because normally, I hear people in the street outside my window at the hotel. And and I go, oh, that's so lazy. That's not offensive. It's just stupid. Like, you have no words. Get some words, man.
It's a filler. It's like when you're searching for the word to say. Yeah. I don't swear that much in my set.
No, I try not to. I'm trying to do a clean set, but with my material, it's very difficult. And I was again speaking to somebody the other day, and I said, look, I want to write some clean stuff, and he said, why? And I said, well, I'm restricted with what I'm doing because of my topics. And he goes, but that's you. That's funny. That's you. And I mean, if you were a younger woman, you probably wouldn't get away with it. But because you're 70-something, it's funnier for some reason.
There is like she's such a badass. Like, she's so badass. She's a gangster. She's 77. She's saying pussy.
Yeah, that's right. The girls that come up after the shows are like in their 20s.
Yeah.
And the best compliment I ever had was coming out of a gig at Leaderville, and the girls called me over as I was, you're so funny. I wish you were my nan.
That's great.
That's the best compliment.
I remember someone saw me reading off my hand once.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was not prepared for a gong one night. It was like a last minute thing. So I'll just do these 4 jokes. And I didn't do that well. But this guy comes up to me in the alley afterwards and he's like, oh, you did great, mate, but was that your first time, was it? And I was like, no. And he goes, oh, I just saw you reading off your hand. I figured you must be, are you nervous? And I was like, he's really talking like trying to be gentle with me.
He's trying to be supportive, but he was actually making you feel worse.
No, I've been around for a little while anyway. I've done some competitions. I've done all right.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice for a new comic then? At any, because I started at 39, mind you.
Baby.
Yeah, but like,
I heard you discussing this with Gavin the
all
other
of
day. Yeah, Gavin in particular. There's the one I've just heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Like advice for new comics.
Oh, advice for new comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Number
one,
age.
do it. Yeah. Don't. If you want to have a crack, have a crack.
Yeah.
Look, I've done things in my life that I maybe a little bit sorry for doing, and things that. But I have never. Regrets are not a good thing. So I've done a lot. A lot of things I don't want written up, perhaps not even known, but I haven't actually regretted anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to my death thinking I wish I'd had a go at that, or I wish I'd done that, or I wish I'd said that. When they bury me, burn me, or whatever they're going to do, tear me limb from limb, I will go knowing that I have done my best and I've had a bloody ball doing it. There's been ups and downs. I've cried and I've once, thought about killing myself. But at the end of the day, I haven't regretted anything, and I've had a fantastic life.
That's fantastic.
And I'm still having it.
Yeah, good. You know what? If you should, I've often thought about just being a comedian. I would love to, pre-record something for my funeral one day. Just make everyone sit through a 10-minute stand-up.
I've already said I don't want a funeral. But I'm every now and again, Richard and I, when we're bored, we play What Song Would You Like? Played at your funeral. And funnily enough, my brother-in-law, Bob, he died a couple of years ago, and he was cremated, but he was a great jiver. He used to love to jive and dance, and this wasn't deliberate at all, but his wife, the song they played when they were leaving was Great Balls of Fire, and I said, he's cremated. Did you really mean to choose that song? She said no. It was just one of Bob's favourites.
That's
that
great.
made me laugh so much.
That's great. There was a prank. I think it was a Scottish video. Some guy had recorded himself audio.
Yes.
And he was like, doosh, doosh, doosh.
Yeah.
Hello?
That's right. That's
This English guy?
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that. I also would love to have a fun song like Tequila. Just like, it's such a build.
Yeah.
And then make sure everyone sings Tequila. Tequila.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Take a shot.
But start at any age, because I started at 39. I've been wanting to do comedy since I was 6. You know what I mean? I remember making someone laugh in class, becoming a class clown for the rest of my school life, and never thinking that it was an achievable thing to do. And I started at 39. I started well enough. You know what I mean? I had written comedy sketches. I had read books. I learned a lot. I did online courses. I knew how to structure jokes. I knew I was an actor, so I was fine being on stage.
Yes.
It was just getting over myself and getting over the fact that people might not like me. Which I think as a people pleaser,
That's right. There's the fear of failure, which haunted me in my first 6 months back at this. Like, what if it doesn't work? I'll be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And one of the guys said, look, it's Perth. It's, it's not the end of the world. It's just you. I'd say I did do it. The second one is don't expect anything.
Yeah.
You got to earn it.
Yeah.
You have to earn it. Nobody owes you 5 minutes on the stage.
You just be appreciative that you're there.
So, and also don't think you're going to be funnier when you've had 2 pints of beer because
or 6 like some people.
Yeah, I know. You're not, and you just embarrass yourself, and it's disrespectful to other people who are waiting to have a go, that you're wasting your opportunity. So that was the first bit of advice that John McAllister gave me those 27 years ago when I was at the Laugh Resort. He actually came and sat down at the table with me, didn't know who I was, and I was on my own. And I said, I'm here for a spot. And he said, only one bit of advice, Nola. Don't have a drink.
Yeah.
And he said, have it afterwards, but don't have it before you go on. I went, oh, yeah, okay. And he's right. And I've seen the good, both sides of that.
Yeah.
And so I will have a drink, but I won't have it till I've done my spot. So.
Yeah. I think at the most, I have literally once in a blue moon, I'll have a Scotch and Coke. And that's it. And that's not even right before. That's like when I get to the venue and there's 10 people before me, and then it's worn off by then. You know what I mean? But I've never gone on, not control of myself. So what's next? Are you going to do we're going to see like a Nola Bliss Netflix special?
Well, a lot of my very close and adoring fans have said that to me. I don't know.
You could easily film something, put it out yourself. You know
I know, but I don't have the technical knowledge. But I am going to do Fringe again. I'm going to do a one-woman Fringe.
Cool.
And I'm looking for the advice I got last night was, you just want to be like, because you're unusual, you just have Nola Bliss and one word. So I'm looking for that one word.
Yeah, wow.
So it's going to be Nola Bliss.
Blissful.
Too obvious. They always say the first thing you think of is not the right thing. Nola Bliss, classy.
Yeah.
Or Nola Bliss, I don't know. Anyway, I thought class would be good because class is sort of like, I'm not classy, but it could be like a class.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I'm going to do a 40-minute one-woman show.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I'm going to go...
Name TBD, that's cool.
Balls deep.
And there's the title.
Oh, wouldn't that be good?
Nola Bliss, balls deep.
Oh, mate, do you know what? I think we might that's a good one.
If we do that, we'll come back and look at this video and we'll promote it.
That's where she started.
Yeah. You can see Nola Bliss all over Perth in every comedy club, killing it.
Hopefully.
Winning the Gong Show on the regular. You could probably pay your wages at the York Hotel with the...
Somebody said to me the other day, you don't need the money, Nola. I said, that's not the point. Yes. It's the joy and the love of the game.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining me.
I'd
love
fabulous.
to have you back again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nola Bliss. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Jared. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sorry I talked too much, but anyway,
not
hopefully it will be, we had a laugh. I've had a laugh.
No, me too. It's been great.
Okay.
Thank you very much and see you next week. Goodbye.